Really very nice.
Angela, why did you say the prayer? Beloved,
Yes, I can do that.
that would be nice.
Angela, where's Cliff?
Okay, it's time.
He's
Jai Mer Baba, everybody. Can we please settle down? Okay, Janice, could you do the prayer, please?
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। प्रियतम परमात्मा, हमारी ऐसी सहायता कर कि हम तुझसे अधिक का अधिक प्रेम करें, और अधिक और अधिक, और फिर भी उससे भी अधिक प्रेम करें, जब तक कि हम तुझ में मिलकर एक हो जाने के पात्र बन जाए। और तू हम सबकी ऐसी सहायता कर कि हम अंत अंत तक प्रियतम बाबा का दामन दृढ़ता से पकड़े रहे। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय।
Jai Baba, everybody. Welcome to Bombay Center's Thursday evening session. Before we start off, I'd like to invite our Lord and Master, one and only, Meher Baba, to please come and join us during this session. Not only just join us, but take over the reins of the entire session and let whatever happens, whatever the speakers speak, whatever people sing, all as per his will. Thank you, Baba. At the onset, I'd like to, I have this not a very nice announcement to make. Last Tuesday, we had two of our center's members go to Baba. One of them is Manize Afgha, and the second one is Viraf Bacha. I'd request all of us to please hold on and have a moment's silence in memory of the ones who have gone to Baba. God, Meher Baba ki jai. May Baba keep his nazar on all the departed souls. Thank you. Today we have with us our very famous and very dear Angela Chen. She is no stranger to most of us because we've all been listening to her Zoom meetings also. Angela Chen heard of Baba in 1993 and soon after started getting involved with the organizing of Baba meetings. And then there's a list of things that she's organized. She has participated in organizing for Mayor Baba House in New York, the Northeast Gathering, the Heartland Center in Oklahoma, the Southeast Gathering, the Asheville Music Savas, the Circle of Friends, and now Baba Zoom. She enjoys creating ways to remember him through crafts and music as well. So a very warm welcome to you, Angela. Please take over. Now it's all yours. Jai Baba.
Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai.
Hey.
Jai Baba. Well, after that introduction, I can just go back to bed now. So this is early in the morning for me. I know it's not early for many people, but I am a night owl, and I do keep late hours. So I'm hoping that I'll be coherent at this hour, and here I am live on Facebook. But anyway, so if there's something that I forget, I do have some other talks I've given that will explain some of the things that I might have missed. I'll put it in the chat in a few. So my Baba story is from the forward direction in time, in the living it direction. It's very simple. It's unassuming. It's a sweet little story. But then when I look back in time, that's when I see the miracles, That's when I see how miraculous, how amazing Baba is to have plucked me from the life that I was living out of out of the feeling that I'm just one in billions of people, So in the forward direction, I heard of Baba from my ex-husband at that time, not yet my husband, and he had heard of Baba through his aunt, who was there at the East-West gathering in '62. So many of you will have heard of Julia Mavers. So George Chen is actually her like I say, I'm not quite awake. Her nephew. So he was not very socially involved with Baba lovers at that time. He was just existing as a Baba lover and not necessarily interacting with a lot of Baba groups and that sort of thing. And I came along, and anytime I had a question, because I was young and I was interested in understanding more about my place in the world and how I fit into it, And anytime I had one of those questions, what is the meaning of life, and what are we here to do, and why are we doing what we do, some answer would come through George. He would pull down a book and he would read a passage from Baba, and he would just be like, just everything that you possibly could imagine as an answer was 1,000 times better when Baba said it. You know how that feeling is. So in the living my life direction, in the forward direction, it was just gradual like that. It was not like any big miracles, no, grand wishes granted, nothing fancy, no struck down by lightning. You know how many stories are just so miraculous. So in that direction, in the living my life direction, it was just more and more of the, wow, that's pretty amazing. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, he said that. Wow, that's amazing. And then finally we got married, but it wasn't even truly a honeymoon. It was sort of a honeymoon where we decided to go to Myrtle Beach for the first time. And I think that was not until 97. So I first heard about Baba in sort of 93, 92, 93. And yeah, so slowly in those 4 years, I was just hearing more and more, and I just had to go to Myrtle Beach and find out more. And George said, "Oh yeah, good. The last time he was down there had been some decades before." So I was kind of dragging him back into the fold, and we'd been attending many New York meetings. In fact, got to meet Bauji in New York and Darwin Shaw and other important people like that, and then wanted to go to Myrtle Beach. Now in Myrtle Beach, people would just sit around, and talk about Baba, and I was hearing these stories about how they came to Baba, and I just said, "Wow, this is more and more amazing." And then in in all those Baba meetings at that time, it'd be one after another people's Baba stories. It was how people had Baba meetings at that time, and it was just more and more fascinating how Baba works, right? So on that flight back from Myrtle Beach, I lean over to George and say, "I think I'm a Baba lover." So so that was the simplicity of it. And then I look back and I just think this is amazing because George and I were living in Bronxville, New York, which is right off of the Bronx River Parkway. So Baba in 1952 was going up and down the Bronx River Parkway to get from Scarsdale, that house in Scarsdale, where he was recovering from the accident, down to New York City to Ivy Deuce's apartment, where he would meet people and then he would go back to Scarsdale every night. So that's part of the wonderment is that part of the story. And then, believe it or not, there's other little things here and there, but believe it or not, when I was going to acupuncture school, I was going to New York City for acupuncture, and I was living just a little bit north, as I mentioned, Bronxville, New York. So I was starting school and I was thinking that I needed a part-time job, in order to pay for my monthly train ticket, the commuter pass, and then to obviously, pay for little sundries here and there. I was getting financial aid for school itself, but that sort of thing. So I was thinking about all the parameters. I had to be flexible and part-time and, convenient and all those things. And I was grabbing the paper and I remember the thought very distinctly, oh, this is impossible. How am I going to find a job like that? And within a week, Baba finds me a job like that, easy hours, easy commute, just, one subway ride away. And you're very easy, very flexible, very nice people. And it's years later, literally years. It takes me years to discover that building that I was going for work was 33 West 67th Street in Manhattan, which was the same building, the self-same building that Ivy Deuce had her apartment in 1952 when Baba
Wow.
was visiting. So, I mean, in retrospect, it's just funny, right? Yeah, Baba, I really feel like he was laying out these little crumbs, like that image he uses, of that series of breadcrumbs, and then the bird is caught in the net, that feeling. So very much like that. A very quiet dropping of the net. He didn't have to surprise me or shock me. He just dropped it gently. And then in retrospect, you're like, oh, look at all those breadcrumbs. So 33 West 67th. I mean, it's phenomenal. I can tell you a few of the people who met Baba for the first time there, and it's all those stories are amazing. So Billy Eaton, Don Stevens met Baba for the first time there. I had Don Stevens at our house. He told the whole story to me personally. It was very sweet, over breakfast. So yeah, so many stories in that place. But so interesting, the very early relationship to Baba's accident and what was entailed in that, the miracle around that with the flower. That was one of the very first Baba stories I ever heard. And it was so moving, to think that Baba had given Elizabeth that flower exactly 20 years earlier. And she discovers it exactly 20 years after the accident. She discovers the Bible. So, where the flower is pressed. So, yeah, we can talk about that story at some time, some other time. So much to say. So anyway, it seems that somehow there's two big themes in my life. One of them is somehow related to that, and so serving on the Oklahoma board was somehow significant in my life to try to understand more of that relationship of that story to my life. And then the second part, just that long time thread of somehow having the karma or the sanskaras or whatever it is to want and to need to make Baba meetings. So there's nothing that gives me more pleasure in life than having people come together in Baba's name, even if I can't participate. I just love to see Baba lovers come together to talk about Baba, come together in his love, work on being the best people they can be in order to better honor and live Baba's message. So from the very earliest, when I came back in '97 from Myrtle Beach, I started getting involved in Meher Baba House in New York, and I was young, so I kind of came in with full enthusiasm in a way that probably didn't respect the fact that folks were doing things much longer than I had been plodding along, doing what they do. I came in with so much energy, and it was almost like a coup. I had just so much energy and enthusiasm. And I think back and, oh my gosh. Anyway, we're still friends. The previous board members. Yeah, I came in like a tsunami. So that high energy and that crazy enthusiasm, it couldn't last. It was not necessarily a long burning fuse. It was sort of a short sprint. Various things in my life conspired, and Baba ejected me from that situation and from the marriage at the same time. It was literally that. Yeah, that's right, Yasmin. I forgot about that. The elevator. Yeah. So anyway, she wrote in chat about the elevator going up and down the Baba used. Yes, yes. I have that story in another video. I'll tell you more about that if you have questions. So then I was talking about Meher Baba House. My life crumbled, and it definitely felt that somehow that marriage was not supposed to last, and in that in-between period, I discovered that the Oklahoma Heartland Center was looking for board members, actually at that time they were just planning the 2005 Sahavas to celebrate opening the Burleson House as an actual center. Before that, there had just been an idea, and they were trying to buy the accident site, and they couldn't. So they were able to buy the Burleson House. And so I went out there because I had heard about the 2002 and how amazing and this, that, and the other. And so 2005, I had to go out there. And now I was single, so I could just do whatever Baba willed without having to compromise with anyone about what their plans were. That's always the interesting thing about marriage, isn't it? Good and bad, right? So I go out there, and I'm completely flabbergasted with how energetic it is. The Nordine family were involved. They're very energetic, very just whirlwind kind of doers, and I got caught up with that energy, and I joined that board, and we were so excited about what Baba's plans were for the Heartland Center. And so that sopped up all of my organizing energy. Meantime, I'm still involved with the Northeast Gathering. So I'd been doing the Northeast Gathering something like 25 years. So something like that. So a lot of my Sahavas organizing experience comes from the Northeast Gathering. Every time, it would be once a year, and we would be looking to find a speaker and find a musician who could basically hold down the fort, for a whole weekend. So I got to know everyone out there who was actively speaking, especially U.S., but of course there were others who would come through on a national tour, on a U.S. tour, that sort of thing, an international tour for them. So yeah, that's one of the first ways that I got very engaged in knowing a lot of people and actively seeking to bring Sahavas together. It's also where I started with making Baba things because it's funny because it first occurred to me as that why, like I was in India one time, and I was very stuck in my life at that moment. I was feeling like, as an acupuncturist, I've always been self-employed, so it's very much at the will of Baba whether I live and survive or I don't. Healing, as it is already Baba's work, so I don't take credit for doing anything except to be holding a space for people. But yeah, that was a difficult downturn in the economy in the US, and people were cutting back on any expenses that were somehow extra in their lives. Whatever they could do to survive, they were cutting back on anything extra. And I was feeling it in my practice. I was feeling that, it's not covered by insurance, health insurance, so acupuncture is just an out-of-pocket expense still to this day. And so I was so stuck. I felt like Baba had pushed me into this profession, and here I'm not making a living. How am I going to manage? And I think I was George and I, or oh no, yeah, that was already Cliff and I. Time had passed. So Cliff and I were in Mehrabad, and it was one of those times where I really felt I needed to lay everything down at his feet. And I had this thought while I'm standing in the darshan line that what if I just drop everything? What if I move here to India, live very cheap, just buy a little, rent a little hut, just a tiny little space. That's all I need. Place to sleep and a place to cook some food, and that's all I need, just this tiny little space. That's all I need. And I can make my living just making flowers to sell to Baba lovers. Isn't that a funny idea? So yeah, I was ready to give up everything. Just drop everything, live so simply. What do I need in life? I don't need anything. Just enough to sleep and to eat. That's it. So I pay my respects to Baba, of course. And that afternoon, Sam Carawala was speaking, and one of his teaching stories was this story that it just struck me as like, oh my gosh, that's Baba speaking to me. So the story he told is of a king who had a wise man a mendicant wise man who would travel through and offer advice, and when his time was up, the wise man would say, oh, sorry, I've got to go now. And so he was wandering, and this king would look on this wise man with such envy and say, oh my gosh, you have such a free life and so easygoing. You can come and you can go and you can do what God wills without any burdens or responsibilities. And what if we did this, and he was inspired, the king was inspired to say, look, I give you my entire kingdom. I'll trade you lives. I'll live your life. You live my life. And I will be so happy. And the wise man says to him, are you sure you want to do this? This is absolutely what you want to do? And the king says, yes, this is absolutely everything that I want. And the wise man says, okay, I can take on responsibility for your kingdom, but here's the deal that I'll make. So the wise man says, you give me your kingdom, but I give it back to you in order to run it for me.
Oh,
The king was the king, of course, was very upset. But I heard that story as that Baba gave me this responsibility to take care of people as an acupuncturist, and that I should do it as if I'm taking care of these people for him. So that's been my life plan ever since, and so those themes of the acupuncture as Baba's work, and the Baba meetings, creating Baba meetings in his name, those have been two parallel themes throughout the rest of my life. But that little twist of, that energy of making flowers for Baba, sorry, the sun is coming in just so. That energy of Baba, making Baba flowers, Baba garlands, that energy has continued as variations on the theme. So I've been since making jewelry, resin jewelry with his image, and then gone on to get a laser engraver so I can engrave Baba's picture into wood, into plastic, into various things. And then, so, and then, yeah, so I make a bunch of Baba things. Anyway, so let's see. So anyway, so the time passes, the Oklahoma Center, I go through a big transition in my life with my father dropped dead suddenly, and then I had care of my mother, and it was a very busy time, but I felt very much like that that I was supported, that Baba had my back. He would always send me the right person to help, and my immediate family was not necessarily nearby or helpful in that direct hands-on way. So it really was just leaning on Baba and whoever he sent me. He found me right away, a nurse, a home health aide who could take care of my mom. So it was a very dramatic time in my life. I just suddenly became super busy with family, and I had to step down from the Oklahoma board. And then after that, I took some time to recover, and I was laying low. I was undercover for a while. And then as time, a couple of years went by, and Cliff and I decided to move to Myrtle Beach from New York. So that was a very exciting decision. We've been enjoying Myrtle Beach so much. We only moved here now it's close to 5 years, 4.5 years ago. And of course, we're here to be close to Baba's lovers who are living here in Myrtle Beach, to be close to the Meher Center, and what I call a local pilgrim, to be local to the Meher Center. But very much my intention was that although I would continue to be working, I would very much want to dedicate my life to creating Baba meetings and doing that kind of work. So the Meher Center is such that it's a very organized place, and everyone has their job. And being an outsider trying to get in, it just felt that the extra enthusiasm and input was not invited at that time. So I was definitely interested in working for the Circle of Friends, because I could see so much potential for the fact that the Circle of Friends is across the street. It's a community center. They don't have to be complete. They don't have to be the Baba Center with, all the correct meetings and none of the incorrect meetings. The Circle of Friends is ancillary and supplementary. And it was very attractive that something like that exists here in Myrtle Beach. The big difference is that anybody who wants to have a meeting can have a meeting there at the Circle of Friends, just across the street from the Meher Center. And it can be on anything, So for the most part, because they have such an open feel, for the most part, there's some community fear every once in a while, like, oh my God, who is this person and how are they speaking to Baba lovers? But it's been so protected by Baba, and we've really had nobody that scary. There's been very rare occasions where someone from the wider world has a meeting there at the Circle of Friends. It's mostly been Baba lovers, and either the Circle of Friends invites that person and organizes the event, or that person decides that they want to have a meeting. Where can I speak to Baba lovers? And sometimes it's a subject such as, I'm a psychologist and I have a Baba relationship, and this is my take on how to apply Baba to my field, that sort of thing. So very sweet. Or, an extra concert or a talk that's not necessarily by someone who has met Baba or has, lived with a Manjali for X number of years, but someone who has something to share. So that energy of the Circle of Friends is what I combined with this desire to make Baba meetings, and of course COVID happened, So when COVID happened, the Circle of Friends was shut down, and I was still on the board then, and I was the president of the Circle of Friends at that time, due to various circumstances. Anyway, so the first Zooming we started as a meeting. I wanted to find out how people were feeling about being shut down. And, at that time, I remember so much fear, my life was drastically changed. And I thought that others would feel nervous as well, and that they would still need community in some way to interact with each other. And I started the first Zoom meeting around that subject back in March of 2020. I also thought that not only could Zoom be a stopgap measure during coronavirus times, but it could be where we're headed. I actually had been thinking along the lines that somehow the Circle of Friends and all this energy that we have in Myrtle Beach, with people running into each other, on a daily basis, and having a little mini Baba meeting just in our lives, every day. It's wonderful to be here because of that. And there's so much Baba energy in our lives, if you're looking for it, that I wanted somehow to translate that to folks elsewhere. But COVID happened, and I thought even the locals need to interact virtually. So I'd been thinking about Zoom for some time, and here was an opportunity where people would need it. But I wanted that energy that the Circle of Friends had, where it wasn't just the organization, the central authority making all the meetings, and everybody else had to passively enjoy them, or send suggestions and then have somebody else make them, I wanted it to be, you have an idea, you make the meeting, why not? And so that's what's happened with Baba Zoom. It's one of the earliest meetings was RT, every day, twice a day, every 12 hours. At first it was 7 a.m., 7 p.m. Samadhi time, but now because of the time change in the U.S., I've just fixed it at the U.S. Eastern Daylight Time of 9 a.m. so that when the time changes in India, it's in the winter it's 7:30 a.m. and p.m. and in the summer, well, from our spring until our fall, it's 6:30 a.m. and p.m. in India. So that's one of the very first meetings. And I thought, oh, it'll grow and it'll start small. No, Baba, from the beginning, right from the beginning, he made it an international gathering. We've had folks, there's some folks who are in attendance right now who have been coming from the beginning. How you even found it, I don't know, so from the very beginning, I had a connection to Rakesh because, and the Dadars, from the very beginning, because of other things we were doing. Rakesh reached out to me and said, you're doing Zoom meetings, we're doing Zoom meetings, and we helped to coordinate the WhatsApp groups and to spread the word that way. But as I had mentioned earlier with the Northeast gathering, I had a lot of contacts. I had an email list, and I put it out there that this is happening, and then that very first week was planned an effort and grace meeting. That book by Darwin Shaw, that Jeff was going to lead. I'd been attending them in person at the Circle of Friends, but at the Circle Center in Myrtle Beach. But of course, it was closed. So I immediately reached out to Jeff to see if he was possibly going to be able to get on a computer, and I walked him through the instructions of how to get on Zoom, and it was a very, very dramatic thing for him. He was the kind of person who barely liked to even turn on the computer. So but it was immediately that self same week that I started Zooming that he came on with Effort and Grace. And that very first meeting, I could not believe it. We were barely getting our act together, and there were 70 people in the meeting. It was like
Oh,
mind-boggling. But that was COVID times. Everyone was in the same boat where their lives had been disrupted, their schedules were broken, and they were in the same position as I was. And I thought this was exactly the time to insert something new into people's schedules, and to create something that would join people together. And my intention is that this will live well past COVID times. And how it lives is through volunteers, and through a lot of participation. So from the beginning, so at the very beginning, it was me hosting Arti every day, twice a day, which is a lot. But, at that time, I was not working. But immediately, I set to work to see who was coming, and to pick from those who were coming, actually already attending, to make them into trainees and volunteers for hosting Arti. So within a week and a half, I had other people also hosting and then taking over, and I was still attending, but I was just helping in the sidelines. So yeah, it was definitely my thinking at that time, at the very beginning. If you recall, everyone was in fear of that you could get sick, and within 2 weeks you'd be dead. And yeah, it's not a laughing matter really, but it's true for many people. But thankfully, I never got sick, and that's not been the case. And I also thought that, what if I get busy with work, and I couldn't attend all the meetings and everything. So I from the very beginning was looking for volunteers and participants, and different ways that Zoom could be used. I was not going to just settle for the usual meetings, because in my mind, from the beginning, from when I first came to Baba, there was that energy of like, oh my gosh, all these people who met Baba are getting older. Oh my gosh, all those people who met Baba's Mandali are getting older. There was always this energy from the very beginning of coming to Baba of like, oh my God, time is passing, and it's so precious, and so few people. And that was, 25 years ago. If that was few people, it's fewer now, of course. So part of my thinking with the Circle of Friends and then with the Zooming was, well, what is next? What are we going to do if we run out of people who have met Baba? If we run out of people who have spent a lot of close time with the Mandali, then what? So I was going through a period of time where, Baba Zoom was new. At that time, it was for the Circle of Friends. And every morning I would wake up with another thought, like, oh, we could have plays on Zoom. Oh, we could have an art class on Zoom. Oh, we could have, there's a local here who is an artist, but he teaches art history. We could have someone teaching art history on Baba Zoom, on Zoom at that time, Circle Zoom. And so every morning I was getting up with this new idea, and then I would feverishly work towards finding someone who might do it, and that person would be like, oh, I don't use the computer, and I'd have to convince them and train them how to use Zoom, and it was very exciting. It was very enlivening. Every day was a new discovery. I mean, literally, this is how Baba works with me, He gives me ideas, and I feel it in my gut. I feel it in my core, like, that's a strong yes, If it's a yes, then I have to do it. That's Baba's orders. That's how I feel it, So yeah, very heady, exciting times. Lots of people were coming, and our meetings were attended by, I mean, I'm sure the Bombay group felt the same way, you know. Our meetings were being attended by sometimes over 100 people. There was a Charles Haynes talk that was like 200 people who came, and then they would be recorded and watched later and all those things. So yeah, but still the long-term goal is that it's not about just now in this exciting heady time, but like the long term, you know. So I keep cultivating new participation. I keep trying to turn our regular attendees into hosts. Babazoom is such that the login information is not just limited to me and to a couple of other people who are my, you know, my immediate committee or whatever. It's literally given to anyone who wants to host a meeting. So it's precarious in that everyone has login, but it's also been working by Baba's grace. So that's the exciting part of all of this, is that it's literally a community. It's literally not an organization. It's literally you who attend, and you who feel motivated with a meeting idea, and you who are empowered to reach out. My relationship to the circle of friends is still extremely amicable, and I still try to do some in-person events there because it's an amazing space and it's open to anyone. No one has to be actually on the board in order to make a meeting. But Babazoom was taking up so much of my time and energy that I couldn't, in my mind, split my consciousness between how to get local events happening again after coronavirus and still run Babazoom. It was so much that was required of me at that time in terms of creativity and energy and time and training and people asking questions all the time. But I've always been on the teach a man to fish side of things. If you know that story, you know, if you want to feed a man for one meal, you cook him a meal. If you want to feed a man for, oh yeah, anyway, for a day, I think the saying is, if you wish to feed a man for a day, cook him a meal. If you wish to feed a man for life, teach him how to fish. So I've always been on that side of things. From early on, I encountered that wisdom, and I always look for ways to create self-service so that me, Angela, don't have to do everything, you know? So out of that energy, I've created a website. I learned early on how to make websites. So this website, babazoom.net, is actually entirely written. I mean, it's based on a template, but everything in it is written and can be changed on the fly, very dynamic. I'd love to talk about babazoom.net as a resource for everyone. This is not just for any particular location in the world. Let me screen share for just for a moment. I won't take up all our time with this, but here is the site, babazoom.net, and you'll see at the top there's all these menu items, but also if you scroll down, this is a playlist. If you turn on the sound, you can listen to this playlist for literally, I don't know, 100 hours or something like that. So this is kind of like a Baba TV. So if you scroll down, then you have all these buttons to press, and they're easy to find, and I'll talk about this in a second. Here, by the way, is a map of all those who participate in our directory. So it's literally a worldwide directory of Baba lovers. The directory is accessible here. There's also so the novelty of Babazoom is that it's one link for all of our meetings. And how many meetings is that? 40 to 50 Babazoom meetings every week. How is that possible? It's possible because it's not me who's actually running every single meeting. I have ideas, and then I put people to work creating that meeting, or people have ideas and they come to me and say, I'd like time on the calendar. It's one link, very easy to find. If you click on Join Baba Zoom, you get the password and you get the link. I'm not going to do it here because we're live casting to Facebook and I don't want the password out there. We have one password for the whole month and we change it once a month to maintain security. We have about, of those 40 to 50 meetings every week, about 10 or 12 are recorded. And that's been going on since March of 2020. So we have a fine collection of various programs that have been recorded. And then we have a directory. People from anywhere in the world are welcome to join this directory. You get a password to join it, and then you have access to the entire directory. It's so much easier than you all calling up Angela and saying, Angela, how do I get in contact with Sam Patel? Sam Patel, join the directory, and then everybody can... Then I don't have to answer every single question. So the other thing that happened was that, just like Sam made the announcement today about dear Baba lovers who passed, there was a section of time where very important, well-known Baba lovers were going through some health problems, and people were asking me literally every hour, how are they doing? How are they doing? And I created this community news page where if you click on that, it takes you to this page where I have a news and prayer circle. It started with just prayers, but it's kind of transformed into anyone with news in the Baba world. And literally, I don't feel that I'm in any position to judge how important someone has to be in order to be on this page. Everybody can be on this page. If you want to send news about your neighbor who is not a Baba lover, yes, absolutely. In fact, everyone can post for themselves, but so far it's been that they send me the news and I decide that, other people would like to know. So this can be just somebody needing prayers. It can be that somebody's recovering. It can be some news about people who are doing a little medical fundraiser. It could be, it could be anything where Baba's Nazar is being requested. So it goes on. Yeah, it's this is 50 pages worth, 50 postings. When you click on one, it has the original post, and then people can reply to it, and so that's how that goes. All right, so all of those resources are there on babazoom.net. The calendar is, I didn't show you the calendar. Anyway, you can find it later. But the calendar, there's even links. It's a Google calendar, so there's even links for you to add it to your own calendar, and you can click on whether to view it or not. You can make it visible or invisible to you, and that way it'll appear in your own calendar in your own time zone. So from the beginning, there was a very international component to Baba Zoom. Like I say, Baba's Nazar. he blessed this in ways that no single human could do what Baba Zoom is. That I guarantee, because Baba's blessing has made it huge, and huge emotionally for many people. During COVID times, many people came to RT very regularly, and it was such a blessing. It was a blessing for me to keep from being distracted by Mayavic news, and all the trauma and change and transition that coronavirus brought about. So anyway, about the calendar. So a lot of our programming is geared towards an international audience. Our peak time is not the usual, you think of peak hour on a TV station is usually around dinner time. Our peak time is immediately after. In the US, it's morning RT. In India, that's evening RT. And after evening RT, which right now is 6:30 p.m. If we have the time change, it's later. Right now, it's 6:30 p.m. for RT. And then after RT, at about 8 p.m., we usually have a program. In fact, we have a program every day. And again, there are various things. So people reading a book together, or a cooking class, or tea with Mara, or, all sorts of things go on, art history. So, in fact, today at 8 p.m. IST, India time, will be Akarsh Dubey and friends appearing on Baba Zoom. I'm excited about that. I love them so much. So, so yeah, don't miss it. And then sometimes even after that, we have another program. So if folks are able to stay up a little bit in India time, you have access to all these variety of programs that are literally people creating their own programs. It's not a center that's organized it for you. It's you who have organized it for you. We have hosts from all over. In fact, just now we have a new host from Israel. So so anybody who wants to create a meeting, you know, even those who are technologically challenged, the goal is in sight and the technology can be learned. That's been my principle from the very beginning. I knew from the very beginning that COVID would be a motivating factor in getting people to learn some technology. So, my goodness, I was supposed to talk for a half hour and take questions, but you know, once I get started, I can't stop. I warned Sam. I warned Sam.
Well,
You can't
I'm not
say that I
complaining.
didn't warn you,
I'm
Sam.
not complaining.
You get me started, and next thing I can't shut up.
Okay, does anyone have any questions so far? Go ahead.
Comments? Maybe it's time for a song while people think about.
Please do. Yeah.
So we go until what time?
As long as it takes.
As long as we have. Good. Well, I had a couple of requests. And I was wondering if I should start with the requests or start with... All right, I'll start with the requests and then I'll work my way into what I was thinking. All right. When I find myself in times of trouble, Meher Baba comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, he is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. But though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Again, let it be. Let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine on till tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. music. Meher Baba comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai.
Thank you, Angela. Angela, thank you. Thank you.
That was for you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. There is a request for Om Namo by Sanobar.
Yes, I saw that. I saw the chat. I'm going to do this other request first, and then I'll come back to
Okay,
that.
okay.
It's so sweet. I've been getting folks who have heard me sing. I don't consider myself, a full-fledged musician. I'm just an intermediate, but I love to sing. And if people love to hear me sing, then it's a match made in heaven. What can I say? I don't consider myself a true musician. I'm just enjoying it so much. That's all I can say. Prabhuji, daya karo. Prabhuji, daya karo. Mana mein anabaso. Mana mein anabaso. Tuma bina lage suna. Tuma bina lage suna. Kamen hatta mein prema baro. Kamen hatta mein prema baro. Prabhuji, daya karo. Prabhuji, daya karo. Mana mein anabaso. Mana mein anabaso. Tanta mantra puja nahi janu. Tanta mantra puja nahi janu. Main to kevala tumako hi manu. Main to kevala tumako hi Maname anabaso. Maname anabaso. Baba.
Jai Meher Baba. How do you do this, Angela?
How do I do it? So I have a little ukulele.
This is not a banjo, is it?
No, it's a ukulele.
Ukulele.
So
Okay.
it's actually this sweet little four-string instrument that it's famous for being Hawaiian, but actually it has a history of its own. It was an instrument that came to Hawaii via Portugal, and back in the Middle Ages, believe it or not, guitars used to be four-string. So there's some history there that the guitars split off from the original instrument, and this little, I forget if it was called a viol. No, not a viol. It was began with a V. Anyway, there was an instrument in Portugal that then became what's known as the ukulele, from the Hawaiian word for jumping flea, and jumping flea is how they translate. So it has that jumping flea sound. It's very cheerful, very upbeat. Believe it or not, I have a Baba Zoom class to learn the ukulele, and all we do is Baba songs. So that's the everyone's welcome. There are if you search on YouTube for how to learn the ukulele, there's 10,000 videos. I'm not pretending to be an expert. As I have mentioned earlier, I'm just an intermediate student of music, but we learn together, right? So there's another request out there, and I knew it would be out there. Meher, I knew you would request the song. I was going to play it without your request because I know you would request it. I am the ocean where all have begun. I am beloved sublime. I am the ocean where all finally come. I am the one beyond time. I am the one beyond time. For I am the one who made heaven and earth, planets and stars up above. I am the treasure of infinite worth. I am the ocean of love. I am the ocean of love. I am the ocean of limitless joy, infinite consciousness too. I am the music that never will cloy. I am the ocean in you. I am the ocean in you. For I am the one who made heaven and earth, planets and stars up above. I am the treasure of infinite worth. I am the ocean of love. I am the ocean of love. I am the ocean of unending peace, infinite hearing and sight. You from your chains I have come to release, into my ocean of light, into my ocean of light. For I am the one who made heaven and earth, planets and stars up above. I am the treasure of infinite worth. I am the ocean of love. I am the ocean of love. I am the ocean of unbroken calm. Infinite bliss I am too. I've been called Jesus and Buddha and Ram, and now Meher Baba by you. And now Meher Baba by you. For I am the one who made heaven and earth, planets and stars up above. I am the treasure of infinite worth. I am the ocean of love. I am the ocean of love. Drown in my ocean of
Don't know what to say. Thank you, Angela.
Jai Baba.
Lost for words, honestly.
Jai Baba.
You touched our,
So
you touched
sweet.
our heart. That's what I can say.
Jai Baba. Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
No, honestly, I mean it. I really mean it.
I feel these songs from the heart, you know. I feel like singing is a window into the heart, you know.
Yeah.
I always encourage people to sing because when we come together to sing for Baba, there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad, there's no, you know. So definitely I come towards my own music that way, but for everyone, I invite you all. If you have one song to share, share it at Arti. If you have two songs, come to a Toddy Shop Jam. That happens every 4 weeks. Everyone is welcome. And if you have an hour, have a Baba Zoom concert. I don't care if you're good or bad. If you come from loving Baba, we have hundreds at this point. We have probably 300 music concerts recorded on Baba Zoom. Every musician you can think of, yes, you're welcome. Absolutely, come. We'll find a time that works for you, and we'll put you on for a concert to other Baba lovers. We're just family, you know. We're just enjoying each other, so. Om Namo. Well, yeah, I can sing Om Namo. It's a long song. Are you ready? 6 minutes, in fact. Not that I've timed it. Yeah, okay. Not that I've timed it. Who's counting, right? Okay. So, Om Namo is written by Jim Meyer, as you probably recall. Namo Meher name, Lord of love. I burn within your flame, Lord of love. You play the perfect game, Lord of love. Life journey's goal and aim, Lord of love. God's glory you attain, Lord of love, Lord of love. Om Namo, Namo Mera Baba, Om Namo, Namo Mer Baba, Om Namo, Namo Mera Baba, Om Namo, Namo, Namo Mer, Om Namo, Namo Mera Baba, Om Namo. Oh, Namo, King of Kings, you came to set us free, King of Kings. You came to make us see, King of Kings. Piercing duality, King of Kings. You heard our heartfelt pleas, King of Kings. Awake your devotees, King of Kings, King of Kings. Om Namo, Namo Mera Baba, Om Namo, Namo Mer Baba, Om Namo, Namo Mer Baba, Om Namo, Namo, Namo Mer, Om Namo, Namo Mer Baba, Om Namo, oh Namo. Slave of love, answer to all hearts' call, slave of love. You are our all in all, slave of love. For those who rise or fall, slave of love. For lovers great and small, slave of love. Our hearts your shrine install, slave of love, slave of love. Om Namo, Namo Mera Baba, Om Namo, Namo Mer Baba, Om Namo, Namo Mera Baba, Om Namo, 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 Om Namo, Namo Mera Baba, Om Namo, oh Namo. Avatar, God clothed in human form, Avatar, all blessed when you were born, Avatar. Our lives to you are sworn, Avatar. Illusion you transform, Avatar. What theater you perform,
Baba, Angela, you took us. I can see Havovi Dada Chanji.
Yes, Avovi Jai Baba.
You took us maybe 15, 20 years back.
Yes.
Her sister-in-law, Preni Dada Chanji, used to sing the Hindi version of this at our.
Ah, yes, yes.
It was so beautiful and melodious. I wonder if we have a recording of it. Havovi, do we have a recording of it? Unmute yourself, Larry. Havovi, unmute. Hello?
Unmute karo.
Unmute.
Havovi auntie, you're still muted. We can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Havovi.
I unmuted.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Hi, Angela. Jai Baba darling.
Jai Baba, sweetie.
I don't have a version, but I'll tell you a story about this Om Namo. We both learned it from a person called Patki, who taught us a song. And Preni would do it, render it so beautifully. And the last time we were at the Samadhi, Preni wanted to sing it, And she said to Mane Habobi, I don't feel confident because, she was suffering from very bad cancer. But that was the last visit that she was there. And she said, Habobi, when tu be ready, stand next to me, and if I need a backup, then you be there. But she did it so beautifully that I didn't need to back up or anything. That was the last, but unfortunately at those days, somebody might have taken it. I really don't have a recording. I would love to. But I once in a way sing it at Baba Samadhi. I don't know when we'll ever get there again. But it's one of the most beautiful songs. Om Namo. Pyare Baba. You have the word, Angela? You ever sing that song? No?
In Hindi?
Okay. One day on private chat or something, I'll sing it for you. Okay? Thanks. Very
Yeah,
beautiful.
please.
Enjoying it. Okay, Angela. Beautiful.
I would like to request anybody on this group who can find this original
Recording, yes, absolutely.
version of this by Preni Dada Chanji. Give my life for it. Please find
Yeah.
somewhere.
Please don't give your life for it. In fact, doesn't Meher Chand sing it? He knows it from back then.
Chen Nori?
Yeah, believe it or not, he became a singer on Baba Zumarti.
I didn't know this.
Yes, well, a lot of people became singers because, I would keep
Yeah,
private chatting, sing, 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 and they would start to sing.
yeah.
As I say, I really love to hear people sing. It doesn't matter if you're a good voice, bad voice, you think you're shy or not. I love to hear you sing. It's so sweet, it's a window to the heart. I think the eyes are the window to the soul, but singing is the window to the heart. So,
Yeah.
Dinesh, we've heard you sing even. Even Dinesh has sung for us. We have had some adventures together. Yeah, Jay Baba.
Angela, I have to leave. Sorry.
Yes, absolutely.
I have the
understand.
other group side.
Yes,
also.
yes.
Jai Baba.
Jay Baba, good to see you.
Anybody has any questions or anything to add? I don't really know what all songs Angela knows, but
Yeah,
you can
I can.
go on and on.
I have improved my repertoire since attending Arti every day for 2 years, morning and night. Yeah, it has improved my repertoire a lot. Let me finish with, you know what I can do?
You're not going to finish so easy.
Not finishing? Okay. Let me do this short song and then I'll finish with a Mani song. So one morning I woke up from a dream, and in that dream some of the words came to this song, and it was like, in the dream it was desperate. It was like I had to finish this song. So you'll recognize the tune, and I just adjusted the words. Dough for cookies made with love, ray, a glimpse of effulgence. Me and you are not separate, far closer than my own breath. So come closer and closer. La, I think he's round the corner. Tea, an alternative to cha, and that will bring us back to dough. Dough for cookies made with love, ray, a glimpse of effulgence. Me and you are not separate, far closer than my own breath. So come closer and closer. La, I think he's round that corner. Tea, an alternative to cha, and that will bring us back to dough. When you know to take his name, you will leave it all to him.
Angela, this
Yes.
really gets the complete award, total award. Darling, absolutely. What beautiful words you put in.
Isn't
I
that
love it.
fun?
Please,
That's
please
more
do,
appropriate, isn't it?
very, very. Please do share the words with us. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Jai Ma Baba. Thank
Jai
you.
Baba. Yeah. Yeah.
Angela,
Oh well. I wrote one other song that maybe I should do.
just a minute, Angela.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before I forget, I have a Parsi Gujarati version of this Do Re Mi.
Yeah.
It goes like this. Do ek haran, ek female haran, re te suraj nu kiran, mi te che inam maru, fa te dudu javanu, so te soy kheche doro, la te so pachi ave, ti chai makhan satiye, te apune pachu do palave do, a dear. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Wonderful.
Another very long song that I know is, it used to be Erach's favorite. Since we are getting into the mood of singing. Baba Merwan, have you any school? Baba Merwan, have you any school? Yes, sir, this whole world full. One for the scoundrels, one for the thieves, one for the chosen ones who come up on this hill. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Okay.
Oh, I want to learn that one. That's great. We'll have to catch up with each other on WhatsApp and exchange all these lyrics, because they're great. I love that.
It's all in his love.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely.
His love. There's no end to his love.
There's no end. It's so infinite, and to wrap your brain around even just one iota of it, it's impossible.
See, Angela, I really don't know what bliss really is. I mean, Baba has explained
What
it.
do we know about that, right?
Never experienced it yet. But what I know is the joy. The joy that you emanate brings out and connects to our hearts. And that is all that I can say about you.
Jai Baba.
Yes.
I feel his joy.
It
I
is,
very much feel it.
it is his God's given gift
Hmm.
to touch people's hearts, because it's not very easy in today's day and time when the
Yes.
hearts are solid rocks.
Yes.
So go ahead now. Sorry.
No, no, no. You're absolutely correct, and I think that it just brings into greater focus how important the work it is that we're doing. To carry on meeting in His name, remembering Him, having opportunity to make it as easy as possible for people to come together, so there's no excuse. In fact, I didn't even spend any time today on it, but I have had for the past 25 years this idea planted in my brain by none other than uh, Dreyfus, Robert Dreyfus. He was thinking that one day there would be a Baba TV station, and I've had that in my head for the longest time. And I thought for a minute there that Baba Zoom was heading in that direction. It is. But even more than that, I still want to be a TV station. Can you imagine? Publicly available, Baba 24/7. Why not? Why not,
Someday it will happen. Someday it will happen.
In fact, I'm working on it. So, at first it's going to be just an app, on your Roku, but that's a start. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, what we have on YouTube is tremendous, but imagine that you just turn on your living room TV and you don't have to think about which one you want to see. You're just watching a Baba program immediately. I'm excited about this idea. It's around the corner. It's not one day. It's within the year. Within the year, we will have something.
Okay, Yasmin has raised her hand.
Oh yeah.
You want to ask something, Yasmin? Go ahead. Yasmin Haradwala, go ahead, please.
Is she going to sing?
I don't know.
Yasmin? She
Yes.
showed her face for a second, but then she disappeared.
Okay. Fine, bye. Okay, carry on, carry on.
Yeah, when she's ready. Oh, she unmuted. Yeah, go ahead, Yasmin.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge here that when the lockdown started and everything was closed, all the centers were closed, and there was no communication. And I think Cyrus was the only one who started readings, but there was never any aarti. Even at Bombay Center, there were, and I so desperately wanted, people to come together for an aarti and pray together and sing together at that time. And I was missing aarti so much, so much. And somehow even our Sunday programs were not there where we normally sing and have bhajans and songs. And there was such a big void, in that area. And that's when Angela came up. I think she was the first one in the whole world, in the Baba world, to come up with an aarti morning and evening. It was not even there at Mehrabad. Mehrabad aarti started coming much later, much, much later. So I am so indebted to her because that it really lightened and brightened up the whole lockdown and everything. It put me in such a good mood for the whole day, and it was just out of this world. It was just, I look forward to it morning and night, and I really wish to thank her from the bottom of my heart for that.
Mm.
Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you.
It was a lifesaver for all of us, me included. And yeah, when I heard that Mehrabad was closing due to lockdown, that's exactly when I thought, oh my gosh, we have to have RT. I was already thinking along the lines of somehow in Myrtle Beach how to create some RT, because even at the Meher Center, they don't do RT on a regular basis. Now they've started, but only just like 4 weeks ago, they started with doing RT once a week at the barn. But every day, twice a day, I thought it was ambitious at the time, but I thought, well, if at some point people stop coming or I don't have enough hosts and everybody's tired, we'll just stop it. And we just started. And since then, Baba has blessed it, and literally it's been continuous. We have had 1,730 RTs, something like that, virtual RTs as if we were counting each one. No, of course not. But yes, I'm counting. At the beginning, it was like, oh, we've had 5, we've had 7, we've had 10, so we were counting. And now I just have a digital count because why not? It's so amazing. So yeah, somehow we've had the hosts, and if the hosts have some technical problem, the regulars can take over. This is exactly my plan, that it isn't some hierarchy of people who are running the show, Everyone's running the show. You're the meeting. If you don't show up, we don't have a meeting. That's it. That's it. Like, it's not like...
He is running the show.
He is running the show. Absolutely. Yes. That's true. And that we're all equal in his love. None of us are the boss or the power or the, authority to audition anybody. Nothing like that, Nothing like that. It's exactly the opposite. When the host didn't show up for technical reasons or because they overslept, the regulars just do arty. It's the same, I love it. To me, that's everything I dreamed of, was that literally all the meetings were just us coming together. The only difference between the host and the not host is that the host has prepared something or has some technical wherewithal to manage the meeting, but otherwise they're not superior or inferior in any way. They're just coming together and holding the space for all of us to enjoy Baba together. So, on that note of Arti, I wrote this. So, this is the Arti song. So, the key word here, vocabulary word, is wower. So, wower was this word that Michal invented to describe that Arti is getting not just wow, but more wow, wower. So, we were very punch drunk after we were jumi, as Vijay likes to say. We were Baba Jumis who were post Arti a little bit drunk on Baba's bliss, and I was saying wower. Well, that rhymes with sour, and other people were throwing in other words. Abhishek and Tim were throwing in words that rhyme with wower. Hour and flower, and so that afternoon. It's not common that I sit down and write a song, but I was so determined to try to write a song with those words. So that afternoon, Baba gave me this song. Life is sweet and sour, Baba, perfect flower, says now don't be dour, come to the Arti hour, which just gets wower, which just gets wower. He has the power to make love shower and turn that glower into happy hour, which just gets wower, which just gets wower. All kinds of troubles just melt into rubble, thus all our differences vanish into nothingness. Baba's sweet caress, worry vanishes, a great game of chess for him who loves you best. Life just gets wower, life just gets wower. We are his chipmunks, living here amongst Maya's very worst. Witness that time just makes his wine wower, makes his wine wower. All kinds of troubles just melt into rubble, thus all our differences vanish into nothingness. Life is sweet and sour, Baba the perfect flower says now don't be dour, come to the arty hour. Which just gets wower. Which just gets wower.
Wow.
It's a fun song.
Yeah. Any questions, anybody? Come on, folks. It's supposed to be interactive.
Ah, yeah.
People will-
They're interacting. Their hearts are interacting. Jai Baba Dinesh.
Yeah, Jai Baba Angela. Nice to see divine angels.
It's good to see you.
Beautiful.
Anybody?
One last song.
Okay, Janice?
Yes, sir. So I want to say something.
Yeah,
Angela
go ahead.
creates mandalas.
Sorry?
Mandala, right, Angela? You send out the Baba messages, Baba quotes
No.
from Baba Zoom ID.
Oh, the Baba Zoom. Well, I send out a newsletter once a week, and then there's a humor story that I have help with, but we send out once a week a humor story. Yeah.
So on Silence Day, I received
Yeah.
a Baba quote from Baba Zoom.
Oh, that quote. Yes, yes.
Yes, and the background mandala, I think.
Yeah,
is
that
created
was
by
my
you.
artwork.
That's
Yes.
amazing. So she also does mandala and she's very creative, is what I want. And I actually wait for that quote, that Baba Prasad, that message from Baba, that is so wonderfully handpicked by Baba individually for each one of us, and it fits perfectly. Thank you for those. Christmas.
So for special occasions, it used to be that Jeff Wolverton had a collection. He had 650 quotes, or actually more than that. But I took his set of quotes and I copied and pasted them individually into their own PDF. So there's an art background on each quote. And what he used to do is he would print them out and cut them by hand and then fold them up and it would be in a basket for New Year's. So it was once a year. And, you know, for people who were there at midnight, they would pick a quote and that would be your New Year quote, you know. So I devised a way between him and I, you know, that very first lockdown, that very first New Year's, nothing was happening at the Meher Center and nobody was meeting and it was just very, you know, very sad. And so I devised a way, that very first one, I literally was sending each email a PDF by hand. I was literally adding them by hand, just randomly picking one out of the 650 and adding them to each email, right? So this is crazy because our email list is about 1,000 members. I was doing it by hand. So right after, somebody said, oh, there's got to be a way to be able to get a computer to do that. And Jasima, thankfully, see, I have so much help, you know. Baba gives me help. So Jasima is a coder, a programmer, and he created a program that is able to take each email and add a random quote. So we've been able to do this more often now than once a year. So we do it for Silence Day, we do it for New Year's Eve, we do it for Baba's birthday, and for Amartithi. Oh no, last year we didn't do Amartithi. I think we wanted it to be celebratory, you know. Not Amartithi is celebratory, but it's a different kind of celebration. So yeah, so then after I send that out via email, we have a Zoom meeting the next day or the day after, whatever, and we come together and we read them, and it's very powerful. So there's a series of recordings of people reading out these quotes. Jeff Wolverton is a special person, and these quotes he picked are so, they make you stop, you know? They make you stop and think and try to apply that message into your daily life. He picked great quotes. Most of them are from the discourses, and just fabulous collection. So when people come to read them, it's nothing but Baba the whole meeting. And nobody has to invent the meeting. We've already got the quote, you know, so everyone's sharing their quote. An hour and a half or two goes by very pleasantly, very wonderfully, because you're just nothing but marinating in Baba's words, you know. So great meetings, wonderful. Yeah, I'll have to. I'll have
so much.
to. Yeah. So everyone is welcome to join the email list. That goes out every week, and if you join the directory, then you get to participate in these quotes 3 times a year, something like that. And everyone gets a personalized quote. In other words, a computer randomly selected. Baba selected you a quote. So,
I can share an image later after your song to show them your artwork.
yeah, please. Yeah. I do keep busy, as Yasmin says. Yeah. Well, I don't know how much my baggage will carry, but we'll see. So I thought I would end with this song, and then we can all go. We can.
Before you end, Angela,
Yes.
I have one request.
Yes.
Let this not be just a one session that you've attended.
Mm.
Whenever you feel like joining in on a Thursday session, do hop in.
Wonderful.
It's an open invitation for you. You don't need any special calls and this and that. Just hop in and take over.
Only Baba takes over. But yeah, I will definitely give you a heads up if that's happening.
Go ahead and do your aarti, and then we shall end this program.
Okay. Oh, I was going to just. Sorry?
Baba takes over to their
Yes.
Very nice.
Yes. I was just going to end with one Mani song, and then we can end with prayers if that's how you end. Yeah, I was just gonna.
An aarti at the end.
Oh, okay, very good. So I'll just sing one Mani song, and it's short.
Yeah.
Meher Baba, my only Baba, show me how to receive your grace. Tell me how I can please you, just to see a smile upon your face. Ba 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 ba. Meher Baba, you are the sun. Ba 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 ba. Meher Baba, you're the only one. Oh Meher Baba, my only Baba. For me your name is the word of words. It's in the songs of your many lovers, and I hear it in the song of the birds. Ba 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 ba. Meher Baba, you are the sun. Ba 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 ba. Meher Baba, you're the only one. Oh Meher Baba, my only Baba. You are my Lord and you are my friend. There never was or will be another. I am truly yours until the end. Ba 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 ba. Meher Baba, you are the sun. Ba 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 ba. Oh Meher Baba, you're the only one. That was for you, Hababi. Jai Baba.
Okay. Do you want to do the aarti as well, please? Any
Uncle, can I share that artwork?
Aji?
Can I share the artwork?
Oh, the artwork,
Angela's
yes.
artwork.
Yes, please share.
Oh, wow.
So this is how the email appears. It's a PDF with Baba's quote in the center, and I feel each one is handpicked by Baba, each one of us.
Please read it.
Okay. First thing in the morning when you get up, before doing anything, think for 1 second of Baba. Baba is then worn by your soul. Then you will be in the world. Yet, Baba will be with you all the time.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah. Just Baba is so amazing. I'll end with the American arty, if that's all right.
Yeah.
How can one fathom your fathomless being? How can we know you? We see with gross eyes. A glimpse of your shadows has blinded our seeing. How can your glory e'er be realized? Consumed is my mind in your fire and flame. Accept it, O Meher, in oneness. Consumed is my heart in the sound of your name. Accept, O Meher, my arti. Accept, O Meher, my song. Thought cannot reach you and words cannot speak you. Infinite ocean of unending bliss. Though we beseech you, how can we seek you? How can the finite know limitlessness? Consumed is my mind in your fire and flame. Accept it, O Meher, in oneness. Consumed is my heart in the sound of your name. Accept, O Meher, my arti. Accept, O Meher, my song. At your command, suns and stars give their light. What in the world can I offer as mine? My gift of love would be naught in your sight, but veiled reflection of your love divine. Consumed is my mind in your fire and flame. Accept it, O Meher, in oneness. Consumed is my heart in the sound of your name. Accept, O Meher, my arti. Accept, O Meher, my song. You are the ancient one, Lord of creation. How can we measure your true majesty? You are the Christ, the divine incarnation. Dear Lord, please don't be indifferent to me. Consumed is my mind in your fire and flame. Accept it, O Meher, in oneness. Consumed is my heart in the sound of your name. Accept, O Meher, my arti. Accept, O Meher, my song. You are beginning and end of all things. 'Tis you alone who assumes every role. Sinners and saints, beggars and kings. You are the source and you are the goal. Consumed is my mind in your fire and flame. Accept it, O Meher, in oneness. Consumed is my heart in the sound of your name. Accept, O Meher, my arti. Accept, O Meher, my song. Accept, O Meher, my arti. Accept, O Meher, my song. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
Ah, what a lovely story. Really nice.
Thank you, Samji. Jai Baba.
Thank me. Thank my maker.
Thank you, Baba.
That's it. He's the one.
He's the
Angela,
only
thank
one.
you. Thank you, Angela, for coming over. Thank you. We
Jimmy
enjoyed it.
G,
Thoroughly
it's so
enjoyed
good to
it.
see you.
So happy to see you again and be entertained.
Ah, Jai Baba.
Yeah,
Together in his love. There's nothing more important.
absolutely.
May I just say one thing, Angela?
Yes, please.
Whatever we did today, whatever that we have done today, must have pleased him very much. This is what I feel. Thank you, everybody. Angela, thank you very much.
Jai Baba.
Please come again. Angela, don't abandon us.
Don't abandon you.
Janice, go ahead.
Indeed, such an amazing session.
Speech and
Everyone is definitely invited to also join Baba Zoom and to
please
participate fully.
we surely will.
All of those resources is for everybody, no exceptions. Birds and even cats and dogs, they're regular attendees at Baba Zoom, let alone babies and everybody. This is the amazing thing. Here's a Baba meeting where anybody can come and they won't disturb anybody. If the baby's crying, nobody worries about it. You can all attend these meetings. So, yes, definitely. And of course, these meetings, the Bombay meetings, have been on our calendar as well ever since the beginning. So, why I consider the Baba Zoom calendar to be a resource for all Baba centers. In fact, as people start to do sahavas in real life, I'm also putting that on the calendar so people can look ahead and say, what's going on in Finland in September of 2023, you know. That's my goal, is that, you know, there's one place where everyone can access all the information possible that I've heard of. And that way nobody feels like they're left out or they're not in the know or they're some, you know, poor relative. No, everybody is equally family, equally in the know. That's my plan. Yeah, so, Jai Baba.
Yeah, Baba. Thank you, Baba, for everything. And thank you, Baba, for this amazing, amazing. Thank you. See you all again next week. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe. Take care. And Baba Nigeba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you, Janice. Close the shop, please, now. Otherwise, we'll never leave.
That's it. Yes, kick us out.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Buddy.